Welcome to carving the rhino tutorial. We will start by rounding off the edges of the whole body. So begin by dipping your rhino in the water. Grab the file by the wooden handle and place your index finger on the surface, and then start carving away at the edges with the file pointing towards the table. Just keep filing away all the way around the entire body. Also remember to flip your rhinoceros over so you can do the other side as well. Here you can see the beginning of the rounding off of your rhinoceros. You can also file away from one side of the body to the other side of the body, all the way across. You can use the same technique on the belly as well. You can go across from one side of the body to the other side to make it more rounded off. So here you can see what the final rounding off looks like on the body of the rhinoceros. Next, we will show you how to carve the ears of the rhinoceros. So for this part, we will be using the edge of the file that has the teeth. And with this edge of the file, we will carve a little groove in between the ears. Notice how the groove is little and it's in the center. Do not go too far down with this groove. Now you can tilt your file sideways and start carving on one side of the ears, and then flip it over and start carving on the other side. Keep on carving until we'll have a nice opening between the ears. This is how deep you can go. Here is another angle of what the ears look like. Now we will start carving the horns, pointing towards the middle. In order to do this, you can place the rhino down on its side. Start carving each horn down towards the middle. So remember that you also need to flip it over and do the other side of the horns. It's a good idea to file on one side just a little bit and then flip it over and do the same thing on the other side, just to see how far along you're going. You are trying to make both sides look equal. So now we're going to show you how to round off the corners of the ears. Make sure you don't carve off the tip of the ears. Just go along the side of the ears. Also, go ahead and carve around the horn, making sure you don't file away the tip. Just a note, the back horn is usually smaller than the front horn, so keep this in mind when you're carving away. Here we can see what the horns and the ears look like once you're finished filing them down. Now we will start carving the legs. We will show you how to carve between the back legs and the front legs. We'll use the edge of the file that has the metal teeth, and we will carve a groove in between each pair of legs. Here you can see how we're carving each set of legs separately. Keep on carving away. This may take a while. Here you can see how deeply we have carved away at the legs. Now we're going to start carving the tail. You can use a pencil, or you can just use the corner of your file and draw a V shape. Once you're happy with your V shape, use the edge of your file that has the teeth on it and start engraving away along the line of the V. Here you can see what the tail will look like once you're finished carving. It will stick out a little bit. Here's what your rhinoceros will look like once you're done with all your carving. So now it's time to sand your finished carving. First, grab your piece of orange sandpaper. Dip your paper in the water. Also make sure that your stone is wet. Now start rubbing with the sandpaper. You can do circular motions, you can go up and down, and you can go sideways, whatever you like. The sandpaper may get quite dusty. Just dip it in the water and clean it off. And keep on sanding until it's nice and shiny and smooth. Now we use the yellow sandpaper. This will make your stone super smooth. Dip your paper in the water and keep on sanding until it's nice and smooth. Once you're finished sanding, put it back in the water and see how smooth it is. Dry your stone and check for any scratches that might be left over. Now it's time to wax your sculpture. Place it on a piece of cardboard. Using a hairdryer, heat the stone for 2 minutes or more, whatever is needed to melt the wax. You will want the wax to melt when you touch the stone with it. Once the stone is hot enough, pick up your wax and start rubbing it all over the stone. You will see it melt. Make sure you don't touch the stone with your fingers, as this stone is going to be very hot. Once the stone has completely cooled off, pick up your little white cloth and start rubbing your stone with it. This is what will buff it out and make it really shine. We hope you had a great time doing this.